Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
I got to say that the Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox is hopping. Apparently, there are all sorts of restaurants in BC that have robots serving people food. Hotels that have robots delivering towels and various other hotel items.
Yeah, this is Johnny in Victoria, Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox. Hey, Donnie, there's a restaurant in Victoria that has a robot working in it. I think the Mantra restaurant picks up the dishes and everything. Czech did a story on it a year ago. Wow. That's not good that Czech's doing stories on robots replacing people.
Well,
we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Well, okay, I can't go to that restaurant. I can't. I won't.
Because you're worried about little Jimmy not getting that job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or anybody that you're taking a job. Maybe two jobs away.
Yeah.
We should get a robot to check all our notes before the show so we don't make mistakes.
Well, like you say, we're going to have robots doing the show. Tell you what, we got Craig Button coming up. He's no robot.
Oh, he's
all
the
human.
best.
All of our guests today brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333 as we're joined now by TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. How are you, sir?
I am good. And, it's amazing. I was in a sushi restaurant before the pandemic, and they had already started using the robots. You placed the robot came to your table. And I remember it so clearly because I just kind of said to myself, I said, I'm not coming back here ever again. It was good sushi, too. I said, I'm not going back there ever again.
So you're in line with me, though. You're taking a job away from, maybe two jobs away from people.
Yeah, obviously, depending on what your labor shortage is and everything, but we do know this, that the hospitality industry has for years underpaid their workers, not giving them a living wage. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, you know what? Workers are now saying we're not going to work there for less than a living wage. We're not going to go and just think that we have to do that. And I love it. Power to the worker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to any robot place.
I like that. Robot Place could be a band name. Hey, Craig, what impresses you as they move on to the Stanley Cup Final? What impresses you the most about the Colorado Avalanche?
I would say two things: the speed right through their lineup, and it doesn't matter, what level of skill that the speed is attached to. It's the way they play. They all play fast. They're catalysts. They're able to disrupt opponents in a significant way. And, we know McKinnon's, a superstar. We know Rantanen, but you look at Darren Helm and you look at Logan O'Connor and Andrew Cogliano and Burakovsky and they all skate. And so when you have that kind of speed coming at you constantly, there's absolutely no ability if you're an opponent to rest. You get no moment where you can just kind of take a deep breath and go, oh, okay, it won't be as fast this next shift. It's and that's the way they play. And then the blue line is outstanding. And so we start with number 8, Makar. But Devin Tays, and then you have Bowen Byram, and Bowen Byram's only starting to get to show what he's capable of. He's a star in the making. Eric Johnson and Josh Manson, Petroleum. I know Sam Girard's out. Jack Johnson's coming and played really nice. But when I talk about those top 5, you talk about a group that is so well balanced that add a lot of different elements. That's the two things that really stand out to me for the Colorado Avalanche.
They discussed this on the Hockey Night in Canada panel yesterday, and we're talking about, comparisons to Coffey and Niedermayer and Bork. But the panel was talking about the possibility of Cale Makar being the best NHL defenseman since Bobby Orr. What's your opinion of that discussion?
Yeah, here's what I would say. Ridiculous. That's what I say. Has everybody forgotten about Nicholas Lidstrom? He won 7 Norris trophies. 7. Mm-hmm. And he won one when he was 40. Cale is a terrific, terrific talent. Make no mistake about it. But the best defenseman since Bobby Orr? Give me a break.
Hey, listen, it was the guys on Hockey Night in Canada.
Kelly
we
Rudy's,
did discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell, like, all those guys, give me a break. What have you forgotten about? It, like, okay, like, I can understand it. You might not remember Dennis Potvin, everything, although Kelly played with him. But like, Nicholas Lidstrom, you forgot about him? Arguably the second best defenseman that's ever lived.
And
Arguably.
and to defend those gentlemen, who we all know, that they did say it's very, very early.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
Okay.
Craig, get your thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers. The positive, they make it to the Western Conference Final. The negative, 4 out. Mike Smith, a lot of heat on him, the goaltending. Your thoughts on the team in general going into their offseason?
What I would say to you, Rick, is that I think that when you see what they did in the playoffs, and let's zero right in. Let's zero right in on 97 and 29. If the playoffs are about elevating your game to a higher level, and in the case of those two players to an entirely new level of brilliance, and Draisaitl was hurt, I think that if you're Ken Holland and the management group, you got to look at yourself and go, what can we do to give these players more? What can we do? Because what those two guys did was tremendous isn't even a strong enough word, I don't think. Beginning in Game 5 versus the LA Kings, when McDavid just said, I am not accepting defeat. And I think all the way through, that's what they showed. So for Ken Holland and the management group, you got two superstars on your team that can drive your play, help them. You got to find a way to get better players around them. And quite frankly, it has to start right in net. Mm-hmm. You can get all kinds of other players around them. If you don't get the goaltending, doesn't matter. You're going to always be, wondering, and you're always going to be, you're not always, but you're going to be falling on the wrong end of things more times than not. So to me, that's what they got. That's what they showed. And, I think that Ken Holland now is got a lot of work. Maybe not a lot of work, but he's got significant work to do to add some players to that team that can get some depth and take some of the burden off them. One of the things in that series, they got far too little from far too many of their forwards. Far too little from far too many. And it was still close at times. Game 3 was close. We know what happened in Game 4. And just think about if you get even a little bit more and better players in there, how much better they would be. That to me is what they got to focus in on.
Craig, Bruce Cassidy fired by the Bruins, 6 years in the playoffs, 6 years, .672 winning percentage. Did that surprise you?
It did. Although, Rick, I got to say now, I'm not surprised. Barry Trotz was let go by the New York Islanders. You look at his record since 2014. You just mentioned Bruce Cassidy's record. I guess what I would say is that the the first step and maybe is changing your coach and going, okay, we need a new voice. Okay, fine, I get it. Well, good luck finding somebody that's going to be better than those guys. And I'm not saying you can't, but at the end of it, I don't know what you want coaches to do. And maybe people feel that they have an expiry date, and that's fine. But good luck. And listen, I like Lane Lambert. He hasn't been a head coach. We'll see how he does. Those are big shoes to fill in Long Island. And whoever comes into Boston, those are big shoes to fill for Bruce Cassidy because he did tremendous work there. And what I would say too, Rick, is that, when you have Bruce Cassidy out on the job market, you have Barry Trotz out on the job market, just to name two, everybody looks at openings. There's got to be teams with coaches currently in place that have to be looking at one or both of those guys to come into their group to improve their coaching. Because if we talk about upgrading goaltending and defense and forwards, you better as a manager look to upgrade coaching as well.
Craig, you are the TSN scouting director, and yesterday a lot of talk in Vancouver about the Canucks reportedly interviewing a player a lot of people project to go number 2 in the draft, and that's Juraj Slafkovsky. What can you tell us about him?
Well, first I like to try to draw a player that could be a comparable type in the way they play. And to me, Uri reminds me a lot at the same stage of the game as Pierre-Luc Dubois. And Pierre-Luc was a left winger. Columbus drafted him and, felt that he could be a center, but big and strong and powerful and smart. And, that's what I see Slafkovsky as. And, as a player that's competitive, that can play in a lot of different situations and is a hard player to handle one-on-one and, closer to playing than not playing. And that shouldn't be the overriding factor in drafting a player. But, I mean, he's shown that he's more than capable of being a real good contributor. And like I said, closer to playing than not playing, but a player that's certainly with that size and the power and a real good, solid skill base should interest a lot of teams. And unless the Vancouver Canucks have plans on moving up to 1 or 2, I have no idea what they would be thinking about interviewing him.
Oh, there's also rumors that they're thinking of drafting a robot at number 15. So we'll get back to you on that, Craig.
Hey, Craig, if NHL teams hire scouts, robots to be scouts, oh boy.
Yeah, well, you know what? It would be interesting to see all the robots coming into the arenas. And now my question would be, would they still wear those black overcoats and those black hoods?
That's right. That's right.
You got to have the robot kind of dress the part, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. So there's some people in Vancouver who would say, looking back at the drafts through the years, let's go with the robots as scouts. But that's just Vancouver, Craig. I know you don't want to rip into the scouts. I shouldn't have brought that up. Thanks, Craig.
Hey, you guys have a good day.
Sorry, you were going to say something there. Sorry.
No. I mean, hey, listen, the scouts, make mistakes and, that it's an inexact science. I know that. So, and I mean, one of the things that I've learned over the years is the scouts are the first ones to understand, oh boy, we might've made a mistake there.
Yeah,
and, it starts from a level of belief, but the one thing I will say about Vancouver and I read this the other day, Donnie, I was just thinking about that, and the expectation is, everybody wants the scouts to be right all the time. And okay, is that realistic? No, but you need to be right a lot of the time. And I think that, when you go back and you look at drafts and you try to evaluate them, I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective, I would say. So, not fair criticism at different times. And that's all part and parcel of being in that business and being in the scouting world.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it. Talk to you next Tuesday.
Thanks. Yeah. Take care.